So good afternoon, everybody. Today we are holding this webinar to explain to you the new streamlined process for eligibility for EMA organizations. The idea for the webinar is really to give you an overview of the new process, to also give you a practical demonstration on how to complete the new forms, and then also to explain the next steps. So just to highlight that this new process for eligibility only relates to the annual reassessment of eligibility. The actual eligibility criteria themselves and the principles whereby we evaluate eligibility remains unchanged. So this means when new organizations are applying for eligibility, the process stays exactly the same and the eligibility criteria have not changed. As I mentioned, this is purely for the annual reassessment of those organizations that already have eligibility. And the reason we are doing this is to try and streamline the process to make it more simpler and efficient and less time-consuming for everybody. This year will be the first year that we are implementing this new streamlined process. Now, the main element to this streamlined process is in the way that you submit the documents and the information to us in relation to your compliance with eligibility. So previously you would send it to us by email as attachments, whereby now we have a new electronic self-declaration form that you will receive, which you then complete the form and attach links to the information which should be available on your website. So in the form you go through and you confirm to us and give us evidence how you comply with each of the eligibility criteria. Now, the way this will work in practical terms is that you will receive an email from the EMA. It will look like this, and it will be asking you to undergo the annual reevaluation of eligibility. Now, there are several links on the email. The first link is the new form. So you will click on that and open the form and fill it in. I will show you in a moment. But I also wanted to highlight, within the email, we've also attached a couple of guidance documents for you. So the first one here is really the guidance on how we assess and how you should comply with the eligibility criteria. So it goes through the scope of criteria and then through each one by one, highlighting how you need to meet the criteria, what kind of documents or evidence or links you need to provide to us to fulfill the criteria. So you can see as you scroll through, it goes through each one. So if you have any questions or you're not quite sure how you should comply, you can have a look here and it will show you how to comply. We go back to the email, you'll see there is also another link here at the bottom, and this links to the actual eligibility criteria themselves, which, as you know, have been adopted by the EMA Management Board. So it lists here the eligibility criteria. If I go back to the email, so here you can see the actual form. So when you've received the email asking you to carry out the annual reevaluation, when you are ready, all your documents are ready, you have your links ready, open the form, and here you can see we have a test form to demonstrate how this should be completed. It's very self-explanatory. It goes through the different fields that you need to fill in. Now, for the first page, because you are already eligible, this will be pre-filled for you. So you actually don't have to fill in all of the different forms. I'm just going to go through quickly and put in a couple of crosses just so that we can complete the form, because you will see as well as I go down, if I don't complete a field, then it will appear red and I cannot go to the next page. Also to highlight here, you will see it asks you for a person with legal responsibility and then also the contact person. The difference here is that the person with legal responsibility in your organization is the one who will receive the official documents, whereas often, obviously, the person we have contact with is a different person. So just fill them in accordingly as appropriate. And you can see here, and then you press start. And I'm just showing you, I didn't complete one field, so it's asking me to complete it before it lets me go on. So then we go on to the actual eligibility criteria themselves. It follows exactly the same format as the document on the eligibility criteria, in as much as it goes through them one by one. And here it will ask you to tick the box, so you confirm whether you're a patient organisation, consumer, healthcare professional, or also industry, because they are also in the database. This form is automatically generated from our stakeholder database, of which you are members. So you click whichever one is appropriate and you go to the next page. And then you literally work through each of the criteria. You need to provide us with the links. For example, here on the registered statutes, you provide us the link of this information on your website, and then you can tick the box to confirm it's done. And you go through each one as it asks. You confirm our patients done it? Yes, they are. Or if it's not, you have to say not and explain why. So I'm just going to go through the form so I can show you the next pages. We go through the mission and objectives. Now for the mission and objectives, just to remind yourselves, this is the information which you gave us on your website, on your organization rather, which is then published on our website. If I go to our website, so if you need to remind yourself what information you have previously included, if you go to our home page, partners and networks, for the patients and consumers, eligible organizations, you're all listed here. If you scroll down, if you click on your organization name, and you can see here, this is the high-level information, your mission and objective, vision, representation. Check this information is correct, that nothing has changed, that you are happy with it, and then you go back to the form and you can tick, yes, I'm happy with this information. If you want to change something, then you can tick no, and then just let us know in a separate email what you would like to change, and we can get that updated for you. So work your way through the form. Don't forget, add the links where they're requested, and then tick yes. You see here, one box was omitted, and it will let me know. And again here. So really it is quite self-explanatory as you go through. Transparency, this is perhaps one of the most important parts. Here you need to provide us with all of your financial information. So don't forget, provide us links to your website of the latest financial statement, the list of all the funding sources, the overall proportion of industry versus non-industry income, the percentage of the highest contribution from a single company if you have it, and then just confirm you meet the criteria. So for example, that the funding you receive from industry, if you receive it, does not exceed 20% of the total funding, and that if it does, it's from at least 3 different companies, and that the highest contribution of one is not more than 50% of your total income. Let us know if your accounts are audited, and also your code of conduct or policy regulating your interaction with industry. And we go to next. So we're almost finished. Here we go to the last page, which is the undertaking. And this is really just to confirm that you commit to take an active part in the activities of the EMA. That is why you wish to become eligible. And then also you confirm that you will let us know if anything you have included in this form should change throughout the year, and that it is correct to the best of your knowledge. And then you give your name and your position. Here it can be either the contact person or the person who has legal responsibility. Here. And then you finish. Once you submit the form, then you will receive an automatic email which will confirm that this has been received. So it will say thank you for your submission, and it will tell you that we will now perform a validation of the form. So what we will do is we will go into your form, we will check that all of the information has been correctly filled out, that the links you've included, they work and they indeed do go to the right information as provided, and that you meet the criteria. Then once this has been done, later on you will receive a confirmation letter which will confirm your annual eligibility. If I just go back to the presentation, here we can just confirm for the next step. So the idea is that we will launch this new streamlined process for this year's annual reassessment. So we hope to do that around the 2nd of July. We're going to ask that you provide us the forms completed by the 15th of September. If this is a problem for you, for example, if your accounts are perhaps not finalized or you don't even have a draft, let us know and we can look at this on a case-by-case basis. We will then validate the information, as I mentioned, when we receive the forms, as and when we receive them. The idea is that hopefully by the 15th of October, all of the annual reassessment will be finalized, and you will either have received confirmation of compliance or a request for clarification if that was needed. As also agreed previously when we discussed this within the working parties, we will make a random thorough check of 20% of organizations of each group. So for these 20%, you will be informed, and we will just do a more thorough check. So we will go into more detail when we check the eligibility criteria. And this is an annual random check that we will do each time. If you have any questions at all at any time, as usual, please don't hesitate to contact the representative email address, so either the PCWP Secretariat for the Patients and Consumers or the Healthcare Professionals, the Healthcare Professional Working Party Secretariat. We're here to help you. This is a new process. Hopefully it will make things a lot easier and simpler for everybody, but of course we're testing it out, so let us know if something doesn't work or if the timelines are not suitable, and we can see what we can do. Thank you very much.